Hello, 0910 students. This is 3-1, and we're going to solve equations of the form x plus a equals c and x minus a equals c, which looks like what we're looking at here. So let me show you how to do it. This is super important. Do not be a victim of trying to do this in your head, because we're learning proper technique right now. Proper technique. We're trying to get y by itself. We're trying to figure out what number I can put in for this y right here that will make that sentence true. Something minus 10 equals 5. Now, I know that answer is 15 just by looking at it, but let me show you the proper technique in getting that. It's done like this. Since this is y minus 10 equals 5, to get this 10 out of here and make it y by itself on the left side of the equal sign, I need to add 10. Now, this is the first time maybe that some of you have done this before, but notice what I just did there. I did the same thing to both sides. It's like having a teeter-totter, all right, with a kid on this side and a kid on this side, and then adding another kid on this side and another kid of equal weight on this side. It's still balanced. They're still equal to each other like that. But you can't take and add a kid to one side and not put a kid on the other side. If that happens, this teeter-totter will go boom, like this, right? So whatever, back to the action here. The first thing I would like you to get in the habit of doing is putting an equal sign right here. So we've added 10 to both sides. So this side on the left here is y. And then basically negative 10 plus 10, that's 0. So that's actually plus 0 right there. But we never write that. Don't get in the habit of writing that. It's just y. That cancels right there. Over here, 5 plus 10 is 15. And if we wanted to check our answer to see if this is right, we can plug that back in there. We can plug it back in. We can evaluate this like we've been practicing. That's the whole point of doing that. So one side should equal the other. 15 minus 10 equals 5. 5 equals 5. So that is true. Now let's try it again. Here we have y minus 81 equals negative 12. If it's minus 81, then I'm going to do the opposite of subtract 81, and I'm going to add 81 to both sides. To both sides like that. Here's equals. That equal sign should be like in a line down through there, like that. You should get in the habit of doing that, and the way I always do it is put it first. On the left side, this is y equals, and then negative 12 plus 81 would be 69. 69. And you're welcome to put that back in there and check that and see if it works, and it will. Moving on, though. This time we have the x on the right side, and it's x plus 1. Now, before it's been minus a number and minus 10 over here and minus 81 over here. This time it's plus 1. So we have to take that 1 out of there. We have to subtract it. We have to subtract it because that gets x by itself. This is x plus 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. So that's actually x plus 0 right there. But we don't write plus 0. We just make it x. On the left side, this is negative 13 minus 1. That's just like a flashcard type problem there. Minus 1. That is negative 14. So negative 14 will go here. So x equals negative 14. And some people will say, hey, wait a minute. This says negative 14 equals x, not x equals negative 14. What's the deal with that? Is it the same? And yes, of course, x equals negative 14 is the same as negative 14 equals x. You can write it either way. Either way. The next one is down here, number 40. And on this problem, we're going to do the opposite of add 7. We're going to do the opposite of add 7 there. I'm doing that so that will zoom properly. And we're going to subtract this. So we're going to subtract negative 7 from both sides. This would be x over here, x plus 0. And on the left side would be negative 5 minus 7. This is what I keep talking about. This is another flashcard problem right there. What is that answer, I ask you? Negative 12. We put negative 12 there. All right. Remember, at any point you can evaluate this. You can plug it back in. But let's look at a little tougher ones. Some that are a little bit more tough. All right, here's 4 more. On these, I have some like terms. if you look at each of the 4 of these, I have some like terms. So I need to combine those first, and let's get a new color because that other one was getting boring. There we go. So we got 3x minus 2x. Well, that's going to be 1x. Notice I'm just writing an x. I'm not putting 1x because I'm trying to quit that. And then minus 5 equals 7. I just rewrite that. Trying to keep that equal sign in a line like this. Right down through there. Always trying to do that. And now you can see that I've turned this into a problem like the other one. So I'm going to add 5. Add 5 there. And this will be x plus 0, or just x, equals 7 plus 5, which is 12. X equals 12. On this one, we have 2y minus y. Those are our like terms there. 2y minus y, and we need to put those together. And that's going to look like this. 6 equals 2y minus 1y would, of course, be 1y, and we bring the plus 4 down like that. And then, if you want to pause it, try to figure it out from here. I think you can see in your head it's 2. 6 equals 2 plus 4. But again, we don't care about that. We're looking at proper technique because this is going to get harder. 6 minus 4 is 2 equals y. And there it is again. The variable's on the right side, and it doesn't matter. You can write it y equals 2 if you like. If that makes you feel better, go for it. Over here, we're going to put we got 2 sets. We got those like terms and those like terms. And notice I circled that minus sign right there. That was no accident because that's how that's got to be worked. So this is going to be 3 minus 8. Oh, look, a flashcard problem. That's minus 5. That should be automatic at this point. Automatic. Negative 4 plus 7, that is going to be a positive 3. So I don't just put a floaty 3 out there. I have to put plus 3 because it's positive. Getting in by itself, again, always solving for this variable, getting it by itself. I have to take away 3 to do that. And you can see after just looking at a bunch of examples of this that this gets easier and easier as you go. And, of course, negative 5 minus 3, that is yet another flashcard type problem there. That's negative 8, and you have got to have that. Got to have it. All right. Let's look at maybe this one. Negative 3 plus 9 and negative 4 plus 7. Those need combined. Negative 3 plus 9 is positive 6 plus a. Make sure you tail that a right there, like exaggerate it, or it'll turn into a 9 on you. Over here, negative 4 plus 7, that's positive 3. And we need to figure this out. So we subtract 6. Why do we do that? Because that's a positive 6 right there. Now, I know that plus sign's not written, but there's no negative sign. And if there's no negative sign, it is positive. So that's 6 minus 6. That gives me my 0 plus a right there. But we're not in the business of putting zeros here. We just write a equals negative 3. Okay, 3 minus 6, that's negative 3. Negative 3. A would be negative 3. Notice the technique. So very important that your work looks exactly like this. Not anything different, but exactly like this. If you do this, it'll pay off for you as the weeks come. Finally, and I don't know why that thing pops out like that. I hate that, but whatever. We're going to do this weird geometry thing that they throw in there. So we know, there was just a little background on geometry here in bright pink. So we had a 90-degree angle. That's a 90-degree angle. If I put two 90-degree angles together, I get 180 degrees total. 180. 180 degrees. Now, if I put two, those together, another 180 degrees would be these down here. That makes a circle, which has 360 degrees. We know that if you do a 360-degree dunk, you flip around one time and dunk it like that. Whatever. Skateboard tricks or flips or something. But you can see that this is half of a circle right here. Half of a circle. That has a fancy name. Do you know what it's called? It's called supplementary angles. Supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So if this is 53, this is the other part of the 180. Okay, this is 180 total right here. So if you just subtract 180 minus 53, I'm going to get rid of that. 180 minus 53 is 127 degrees. That angle's more than 90. Remember, 90 would go straight up and down like that. That's a little bit more than 90. Well, it turned into geometry class on us all of a sudden. Here it is again. Here's a 32 degree angle, that little one there. And so what's that going to be? Well, that's, again, 180 minus 32. So 180 minus 32, let's see here. Don't have a calculator handy, but that looks like it's going to be 148 degrees. 148 degrees. If we do one more just for the heck of it, like this, and let's say I'm given an angle of 160 here, like that, how big is that one going to be? Just blurt it out. Of course it's 20 degrees. Why? Because it's 180 degrees on a straight line like this. All right, I think my point is clear. Have a good one.